My M23 parents, M58, F63, have taken me out of the will in favor of my sister, F26. Am I wrong to be so angry about this? Recently I was helping my parents with doing a bit of late spring cleaning, and throwing a lot of old rubbish out when I came across what I assume is the most recent copy of their will, date June 2012. I didn't mean to look at it, but as I moved it I noticed in the beneficiaries section on the front only my sister was listed. Then, I know it was horrible of me to do, I decided to have a read through it. I'm not in it, at all. My sister is listed as the sole beneficiary. She will get their house, life insurance policies, savings, car, absolutely everything. They aren't rich people by any means, but due to the way property prices have risen since they bought their house in the 80s, this probably comes in total to about £500,000. They have always had a thing with favoring my sister a bit more than me, giving her extra attention and stuff, but I've never really minded. She is a bit of a screw-up, and if I'm honest, she has needed the extra attention. I'm not going to lie either, my financial situation is a lot better than my parents'. I'm engaged and together, me and my partner, no kids, make about £45,000 a year. She is a single parent of 2 children, deadbeat dad, no child support, earning about £16,000 a year. I know that is a lot of a gap, and I would understand if they left her a greater share to help her out more, but leaving me with nothing just seems so harsh. Whilst me and my fiancé do earn more, we aren't exactly rolling in money. And even if they had only left me 20%, it would still be more than enough to help me start to buy a house. Obviously this is all hypothetical, as they are both perfectly healthy, and have a long time in them yet. It just seems harsh that if they were to die tomorrow, my sister would be set whilst I would be left with nothing. I know it's not my money at all, but she is a terrible daughter to them. Over the years she has lied to them, stole money from them, and me, had to be bailed out and fines paid for drugs charges. She barely even finished school, as well, so whilst she is financially worse off, it's only because she has made herself so. On the other hand, I visit them all the time, help them out whenever they asked, went to university, which they had always wanted me to do. I paid for it 100% myself with no help, and it just seems like they are punishing me and rewarding her for being such a failure. Additional info: with me they have always had a parenting style of letting me make my own way. If I wanted something, I was expected to do chores / get a job and pay for it. I don't mind at all, it's made me more responsible. My sister, on the other hand, they always bought what she wanted, and never really expected as much from her as me. Update: I wanted to get this sorted out as soon as possible for book the afternoon off work and went round to see them and learned 2 new things about myself from my parents. 1. I was an accident. Apparently after my sister, my mom had a miscarriage, and they decided not to try again, and then a year later along pops me. Because I was unplanned, they hadn't really though through their finances, and so for about a year and a half my dad had to work 2 jobs and has always felt that I made him miss out on my sister growing up, and that because he rarely saw me he has never really connected with me. As for my mom, the previous miscarriage had put her off of having children. She was content with her little girl, and by then, age 39, was quite happy to be done having children, too. They are disappointed with me. They don't like my fiancé, they don't like that I live a 40-minute drive away, they are sad that I chose accountancy instead of doing a law degree, but most of all they are disappointed that I am not closer to my sister. That is, friends with a girl who spent most of her life bullying me. Who has treated them appallingly, who stole money from them regularly until she moved out, and who I was persuaded to lend £2,000 of my savings for university to so she could clear some debts. She never paid that back, and I had to get into a lot of debt myself to get through my final year. It's not even like I am horrible to my sister now. I love my niece and nephew and spoil them all the time, and for their sake will help her out from time to time with money for bills / food. Apparently this is why I am not in the will. And never have been, except when I was younger, where custody of me would have been given to an aunt until I was 18. They have never really seen me as their son. I was always a bit too distant and self-reliant, and, apparently, made it easy for them to love your sister more. I'm not down to get anything, as they don't really view me as part of the family. Me going away for 3 years to uni made it worse, but it's something that they have always felt. They asked me if I felt that it was wrong what I did. And said if I could persuade them, otherwise they would change it somewhat, my sister would still be the main beneficiary but I would get something from them. I know you guys will probably be disappointed with me for my response, but I just left. I told them I didn't care about the money at all, and if they cannot see me as a son then I no longer see them as parents. Update: 10 years later, I'm now 33, happily married, 2 beautiful daughters and running my own business, that I started during COVID lockdowns, which has basically helped us become fully financially independent. Zero contact with my parents or sister these past 11 years. Parents are still alive. As a result of insane house price increases in the UK, they are probably worth close to £1 million now, and I'm fairly certain my sister is waiting for them to die. From what I've heard from other people, her behavior improved. No more stealing, but she's still broke. And in a dead-end job because she has virtually no qualifications to get anything better and no drive to improve. The only person I'm in any contact with is my nephew, sister's son. He's nothing like his mother, absolutely brilliant mind and currently at university studying maths, and my wife and I help him with his living expenses because he wouldn't have been able to go without it, and TBH with his mind it would be a waste.